Hello once again, everybody, and welcome back to episode 2 of Cutthroat Research, a new podcast. I'm here with my friend Tyler. We're doing a podcast about Keyforge, and with all the fun Gen Con news, me and Tyler wanted to try to pump out some content to you guys and give you our opinions on Set 3 Worlds Collide and some of the new mechanics. So we're just going to go over a lot of the official article from Fantasy Flight Games and just give our opinions and what our take is on it.
And I'm Tyler.
And I'm Tyler. Yeah, that was pretty bad of me. I should have gave you more introductory.
No, you're fine.
Space.
Like Brian said, we're just super hyped on all the Gen Con news. Fantasy Flight had a little presentation on Wednesday night, and then they pumped out an article, and they've been playing with some of the new cards on stream. They've been I'm excited. I'm super excited.
I'm super pumped. I bought Keyforge decks earlier this week, and immediately I was just like, all right, I still need decks to last me till November, but I'm so ready to pre-order boxes of this new set. All the new mechanics look great. Nothing in the set so far that's been leaked has any kind of feel bad or negative connotation on the game. I know a lot of times in other card games, certain cards would be oh, that's going to break the game or that's going to be a problem. Nothing feels that way. And I'm super pumped about the mechanics. Exalting just sounds amazing to me, and we'll get into that in more detail as we go through our discussion checklist. But what do you think about the new houses? I think that's the best place to start. I think that's the most hype thing that everybody was preparing for. We got Saurian, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Saurian Republic, which is the Roman gladiator dinosaur hybrid class. I love the artwork on all of them. Every card I've seen of them so far just makes me laugh.
Yeah, and then we also have the Star Alliance, which are kind of like Star Trek.
Yeah, they definitely have a
Buzz Aldrin type.
Mm-hmm, exactly, exactly that.
Flash.
Mm-hmm.
They got a cool kind of Trekky feel.
Yeah, definitely. Star Trek, super tight clothes, outer space style.
Almost kind of this guy looks like he's straight out of Mass Effect. But
True. I haven't played too much of that game, but I can understand that.
The art's really cool. All the new set art, even some of the other stuff they spoiled looks great.
Yep.
I'm new houses. They were previewing it. They were teasing at it. I was kind of hoping with the Helix Fossil would be something deep sea themed, but right. Dinosaurs I'm even more excited about.
Yeah, I'm definitely hyped for the dinosaurs. I think with the dinosaurs we're gonna see kind of a merge. I feel like the dinosaurs are gonna be beefy because obviously they're dinosaurs, unless you're playing velociraptors and stuff, little dinosaurs. They're all gonna be big statted, but that mixed with they not even because of the color, but I feel like they're gonna have some Marsy elements because Mars is cycling out. They have a lot of control the board and don't let your opponents do certain things at certain times. I feel like they're going to be a very an upgrade, but also a very solid replacement for the Mars.
I think they're the replacement for Sanctum. I think Brad even said.
Oh, really?
The choices were Mars and Sanctum leaving because Sanctum had bigger creatures with armor, kind of board control type thing, and
True.
That's what the Saurians bring.
And then
sense. The Star Alliance is supposed to be the foil to Mars. They're all about synergies and combos, but they're with synergies and combos outside their house rather than within their house like Mars was.
Okay, so Mars is kind of the Lone Ranger, everything Mars. All the houses, everything kind of works with itself, but Mars drives that to another level, and like you said, Star Alliance is going to be more of a hybrid house that's going to basically pump your other two houses into being better than what they normally would be.
Yeah, it looks like they're all about teamwork one way or another is
right.
I guess would be their central theme. True. I know I don't think we talked about it on the podcast, but I know we talked about how houses all kind of have a central
theme,
keyword, a theme that's not mechanic based but kind of how it feels.
Right. What does this house excel at? If you have to pick one thing the house excels at, what is that thing? And I know the example you gave me was Logos can draw cards.
Yeah, Logos was draw, Sanctum was protect, Mars was I don't even remember what I think the word was abduct or invade. It was just disruption kind of based.
Right, and Dis itself was more of the control.
Control.
Right.
But I feel like the Star Alliance is definitely... They could have just called it Alliance. Like, it just feels like everything boosts everything else.
Right.
But I love the colors. Orange and teal are awesome.
Yep.
I know that's like a silly thing to like, but...
Oh, I mean, orange and purple was like my favorite color combination, and that was already kind of Shadows, but everyone already like... I don't want to say bandwagons, because Shadows is definitely like one of the better houses, but everyone loves Shadows for the cards, and I love Shadows for the art, like, so much.
Yeah.
So seeing another like purple-orange color scheme makes me excited as well.
How do you feel about Mars and Sanctum leaving for this set?
I was one of those people who failed, but I really wanted to like Mars. When I first started playing the game, I looked at the cards, I read the card effects, I looked at the artwork, I was like, Mars seems like it would be for me. And every time I played it, it just didn't meet my expectations. So I have no problem with Mars leaving at this point. It's kind of, like you said, it does its own thing, which is fine, but like having 2 Mars cards in your hand, they're not really gonna do anything most of the time. You're probably looking at stopping your opponent more than accelerating your own game state. Sanctum, I didn't care about when I first started playing. It kind of grew on me a little bit, but it kind of stagnated too. Sanctum's not my least favorite or my favorite house, so I don't really have any ill will towards Fantasy Flight for those houses going. I know some of our friends feel differently. But yeah, I don't have any qualms about those 2 houses leaving, and like you said, they're gonna be gone temporarily. Every set that comes out, there's a chance for any house to come back and any other house to leave, and I'm sure, like Logos being my favorite house, there's gonna be a set where there is no Logos, and then I'm gonna end up waiting a year for new cards to come out, and that's gonna be a feel bad day. But I'm sure the houses that they replace it with are gonna make up for that, and they've done a good job so far.
It's gonna hurt me because I find all of my favorite decks
in Logos. Yes, I know,
even,
me too.
Even thematically, like thematically, my favorite is Sanctum.
Yeah,
I think Sanctum has like the coolest aesthetic.
Yeah,
I really like their like kind of like cyberpunk paladin
right.
type.
Yeah, they're like
feel.
Future. Yeah,
but like I don't find myself playing a ton. Set 2 was great for Sanctum. With Set 1, they felt way behind.
Lackluster. Yeah,
in terms of like. Because even Brobnar, where people are like, oh, Brobnar is kind of the worst in Set 1. Like, I felt like when you got good Brobnar in Set 1, though, you got good Brobnar.
Yeah, I feel like in response to that, like, Brobnar had the highest chance of getting a bad, like, 12 card synergy. Like getting the worst 12 Sanctum cards and the worst 12 Brobnar cards in a deck. Like, Brobnar probably felt worse. But like you said, like just having the right synergies, Brobnar never really felt.
I don't know.
Awful
Have you ever
to me.
gotten like 3 or 4 hollowed blasters?
No.
That's a feel bad.
Yeah.
Like,
it is.
I have a couple decks that have like 2 or 3 hollowed blasters, and I'm like, I'm not gonna play this deck.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that's kind of. You have anything else you want to say about the new houses or the old houses? How do you feel about the houses leaving?
I think the rotation's super smart.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Because a lot of people were like, "Oh, we're just gonna have 9 houses now." I never thought that was going to be the case.
I did.
It would get too cluttered because think of it from like a sales point. Like say your jam is fucking Shadows. Like you love Shadows, and you're gonna buy a deck, but now instead of being like a 1 in
X
chance,
chance,
chance that you get a Shadows deck,
right.
maybe it becomes like 1 in 5.
Mm-hmm. See, I feel like with them rotating out Sanctum and Mars, like some people are gonna be turned off to the game for a little bit if those are some of their favorite houses. They're gonna be like, well, why am I gonna buy Set 3 if my favorite house isn't in there? And it sucks to say, like, just deal with it, but they're gonna come back, and that's like the saving grace of all of it is they're gonna return at some point. It's not the end of the world, and
well, not only that, but you can still get them in Set 3. Brad said that they will be showing up if they're a Legacy Maverick. And, like, that might be crazy rare, but, like...
The chance is...
Imagine if you get, like, a Saurian Bulwark Legacy Maverick.
Oh, my God.
And he just drops through with the dinosaurs to protect them.
That would be solid.
That'd be super cool.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
I think, too, what they might do it... I have no basis on this other than I would like to see it happen. But I would like to see Legacy houses.
What do you
where
think?
You have like a rare chance of a full 12 cards being from a house from an older set.
That would be interesting.
I don't think it would throw off balance per se. Mm-hmm. Like if they're supposed to be direct like replacements, like what if like you get You know, if you
What
get
if you-
Saurian, you have a 1 in X chance of getting Sanctum instead.
I thought about it too. It's like what happens when you get like a Legacy Maverick Epic Quest and there's no Sanctum in the whole
it would have
thing.
to come with Knights.
Like there would have to be Knights in there, and like Sanctum was really.
I'm sure the algorithm only gives you Epic Quest if you have like 3 or more Knights already.
Oh really?
I'm sure there's
Well,
something
I know
in the
there's
algorithm.
some kind of limitation, so you can't get it with 1 or 0 or whatever too. But I was thinking about it too. Like it says activate only if you've played this many Knights or whatever. And
It's just Sanctum cards.
or Sanctum cards, right? So like
Oh,
if you
so it would be useless.
if you get a Legacy Maverick Epic Quest and then you have to play as many 7 Sanctum cards a turn, Sanctum's not even in that set.
It probably just can't be Maverick.
Yeah, so I'm
I
curious
doubt
to see
the
how that's
algorithm
going to
would
turn
let
out
that
too.
get through.
I agree, and I hope that is the case, because otherwise there's going to be a small handful of just unusable decks and
Awesome reversal deck. Good luck.
Yeah. I agree with what you were saying though. Kind of trying to get myself back to what you were speaking of with the Legacy Mavericks and the new houses. Like, I would like to see the chance for there to be like an entire Legacy house returning. That would be really cool. I just hope that that stays on a collector level more than a competitive level.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I hope there isn't some kind of, like, oh, if Sanctum existed in this set, then there's this dumb rule of 6 synergy that just makes me win or whatever. Like, that would just make, like, oh, I pulled this whole entire 12-card Sanctum list, now this deck's broken. Like, I just don't want to see something like that happen. I doubt that it will.
I also doubt that they're going to do Legacy houses.
Yeah.
I just think it would be cool, like, again, more from a collector perspective than a gameplay perspective, because it's like, they're not supposed to be here, and here they are.
You shouldn't be here.
I also think, we're talking about thematically and, like, the cool lore things they could do, how, I was talking with a friend earlier about how, like, maybe in this set, the Dis are, like, normally really small creatures that have powerful effects. I think it'd be cool if in this set, Dis is stronger because there's no Sanctum
To
like
hold
keeping
them down.
them in check, like lore wise.
I gotcha. Yeah, that would be pretty cool too.
That would be a cool little flavor win.
And then in doing that, like all those new discards coming out, you get one of those legacy discards or anything like that could boost a deck into, you know, if there is no like Amber Imp or Ember Imp in the new set, and then you pull one, like that could be a game changer for a deck. I think that's all. You know, obviously we're never going to know until we get closer to until that time.
I think I want to talk about the new mechanics.
Yep,
for sure.
I was about to transition right there.
I think they're very interesting.
There's 3, right?
There are 3 new mechanics, I believe. Let's just double check here.
Yeah, I got warding, enraging, and exalting.
Yes.
Written down. I wasn't sure if I missed one, but those were the 3 I definitely noted.
Yeah.
Which one's your favorite?
I think Exalting is my favorite.
I agree. I 100% love Exalting.
I think it's a good one. I think
I like the risk reward factor of it. Like, you know, you have to give you're giving up something that is literally the resource that your opponent uses to win, and I hope that in doing so, I think it allows them to make game breaky cards without them being game breaky.
It's a good equalizer.
Yeah, it's like if library access gave your opponent Amber, it wouldn't feel as bad. Like, you know what I mean?
Cool for a future mechanic.
Yeah,
cards
like,
that are like negative Amber.
When you play it, give your opponent
your
Amber.
Opponent
Yeah, or you just lose Amber when you play it, like
Yeah.
-1 or something. Like if they made it a different color, like a green or something, and it had that same symbol in the corner, and it was like, oh, this is minus Amber. You pay for it.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yep.
Cutthroat Research calling like negative Amber in the future. Void Amber.
Paying cost. Void Amber. I love it, man. We gotta trademark that like yesterday. I agree, though. I think Exalting is going to be, like, the most fulfilling of the new mechanics. I think Warding is one of the ones that...
I feel like if you get Star Alliance or whatever, heavy Warding, and you have heavy Shadows, and there's a ton of elusive,
it's going to be
your
so
guys
free.
are just, like,
yeah,
there.
Your board presence is stuck. You are indefinitely having board presence.
But I guess the foil to Warding is Enraging.
Mm-hmm.
So, for anyone who hasn't read, Warding is a mechanic where... when it affects a creature, they get a ward token.
They cannot have more than one.
They cannot have more than one, but even if they could, I think the wording is fine because it's the next instance they would be destroyed or dealt damage, remove all ward counters from them.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of being destroyed or dealt damage, they lose that counter. So it's basically like a super elusive.
Yep.
But just once.
Yep. and it's exactly like you said. It acts very much like elusive. And how do you think? I mean, I guess with elusive, I mean, if you have a ward counter on something with elusive, you have to hit it 3 times to kill it.
Yeah.
Like that is
Or-
so significant.
Or even
to
if
me.
you have like a direct damage spell, like a punch or a twin bolt.
Yeah,
like you
pain
still have
reaction.
to break the ward to do that.
And then fight it or hit it again, right? Yeah, you have to.
Like even a board wipe, they'll survive a board wipe.
Mm-hmm. I wonder how that. Oh my god, I don't want to bring this up because of rulings. I wonder how warding's gonna function with Archimedes.
Yeah, I mean it probably just won't.
It probably just won't,
I mean,
right?
don't ward his neighbors.
Don't ward. Yeah, if you don't want to get in a ruling fight with all your friends, do not ward Archimedes' neighbors.
Oh, I feel like it just wouldn't activate. His
Yeah,
effect wouldn't
true.
apply because they're not being
It's not
destroyed.
about to leave the field. Yeah.
So everything else.
Oh,
gets,
that's true.
So everything else would get
So-
destroyed, and Archimedes
so-
and his buddies would just chill.
So in that regard too, with the ward counter, if you did something like destroyed a dust imp, you wouldn't gain the 2 amber because it just removes the counters. It doesn't actually destroy the thing. So that'll be interesting too. So make sure you don't ward your destroyed effects if you want them to go off.
Or
at least
unless you want to
sooner.
protect them.
Yeah, unless you're trying super hard to keep it on board.
But again, the thing that I feel beats that is enrage. Now
Mhm.
that mechanic is it's another counter. When you enrage a creature, they get an enrage token on them.
Yep.
And that token is like I can't tell if it's better or worse than being stunned. I bet it's situational, but the counter says the next time the creature's used, they must be used to fight.
I thought that they had to fight at their next opportunity. Like I thought that even if you
Let's
we have
let's
the
pull up the
article
exact
open, we're
wording.
going to find out.
Uh,
You can search for it too. If you search, yeah, an enraged creature must be used to fight if able, at which point the creature removes all enraged counters.
So it's not quite like Little Rapskull effect. It's must be used to fight at the
Right.
next opportunity.
Right. So
So-
like if I give you an enraged counter and pass my turn to you, that creature that I put the counter on has to fight during that turn as
Yeah.
soon as possible. No questions asked.
So for sure it'll beat warding because if you drop an enrage counter on someone that's warded, they have to fight you and they have to drop their own ward counter.
Right. They get rid of themselves. So that kind of counterbalances the warding versus the enraging. Which is fine. I think that's a good balance. I think we have yet to see the true power of what Enrage is going to do. Like, reading some of these cards, I was like, oh, Exalting seems broken, Warding seems broken, Enrage, meh. Like, that was my first impression.
No, I think enraging is strong.
Yeah, I think Enraging is going to surprise us by a long shot with, like, the things it's going to be able to do and the interactions it's going to cause. But yeah, those are definitely the 3 new mechanics coming to set 3. And hopefully...
We haven't talked about exalting yet.
Exalting. Oh yeah, go over Exalting. I mean,
So-
we discussed it being our favorite one, but
It is my favorite.
It's so hype.
When you exalt a creature, it usually precedes a powerful effect.
Mhm.
And what it does is it places an amber from the common supply on that creature that is exalted. So basically, if your opponent destroys that creature, they're going to get that amber.
right.
So you're making it a target. You're making it something that will potentially put your opponent ahead.
Mm-hmm.
But it usually is tied to a powerful effect like, what is it? Legatus Raptor here. His fight effect, you may exalt Legatus Raptor if you do ready and use another friendly creature.
Right.
And that's a strong effect.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think Exalting is going to be, like I said, the most rewarding, but also the highest risk mechanic we've seen in the game thus far. I think like putting amber on your own creatures at risk of your opponent taking them from you isn't something we've seen very often, if at all, in Keyforge. Nothing I can think of puts
I think
amber
the
on my
closest
own
thing
creatures.
is blood money, and that
Yeah.
puts it on your opponents.
Yeah, so
so
it
that
gives
you
it to
can
you
get it.
anyway. So it's kind of a reverse blood money. You can call it what you will, but yeah, I'm excited for Exalted, the Exalted mechanic.
It's going to be really skill testing.
It's gonna be super skill testing.
I know in some of the in like the booth that they had some cards spread out, there was a card called Exile in Saurian
Mm-hmm.
that it gives you an amber when you play it, and it just gives your opponent one of your creatures.
Yep.
And like I feel like that could really be abused if you have someone who I'll exalt.
Yeah.
I'll exalt. You get like 4 or 5 amber on them,
And
and
then
then you
just give it to them, and then kill it and just take it for your
Yep.
key. Yeah, I think that's gonna be pretty cool too. I've seen I saw I think it was a logos card in the article too, or on Reddit somewhere, that says you can put one of your purged cards in your artifacts or archives rather.
Yeah.
I don't remember the name of it. Forgive me for that.
I do remember people talking about that on the chat.
I am so happy. Like more than these mechanics, I am so happy that there's a way to interact with your purge pile now.
Even if it's just one card.
Even if it's just one card, I will collect all of them. Like I love, even in Yu-Gi-Oh, like I love the whole manipulation of remove from grave and graveyard control and doing this and just spinning through. It's like having 3 decks, kind of like 3 different piles of cards.
Sure.
It's super useful. And I hope they do release more cards for that in the future. And I personally, I would love to see a house dedicated to purging effects.
Oh, I'm sure
or
in
purge
the
manipulation, like down the road a year or two, not anytime soon.
Because I'm personally surprised they didn't take the easy route with the new houses. I was full on expecting one of these houses to be like grim, dark, like zombie vampires or werewolves or something.
Right.
Something like very spooky.
Something from like the Ravenloft realm of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
style. Like everything's just super dark and eerie. And
people just eat that.
Everyone's looking over their shoulder. Yeah, I agree.
I guess like Shadows is kind of that like edgy thing.
To a degree, but I think of like I mean, not to relate it to D&D terms, but that's what's been on my mind all week because I run that campaign. But like Shadows to me feel like rogues. And they have like their own little like thieves guild style. They're kind of sneaky and trickery, and we just want a full blown like warlock class that just like has a tie to some like existential demon lord outside of the like realm of existence. Like I agree. I mean I expect that from Fantasy Flight in the future, if not today. You know, like the Dino House, and the Star Alliance House I think are both solid for what they are, but they have so many paths they can take, and with each set. I hope that there's at least 2 houses a year like there have been. I think that would be frequent enough to not get people bored of the game.
I think that's believable.
Yeah, I don't think it would be like doing it every set would get like kind of.
Would it though? Because it's not like you'd think it's kind of information overload, but at the same time, it's still 7 houses, and it's still. The new things you only have to worry about in a vacuum of that set. Like, yeah, competitively, that's where it's going to really shake things up. Like, Sealed's going to be like, oh, I got to know this set really well. Mm-hmm. But, like, when you talk about Archon now having 3 sets in the rotation, that's where, and I kind of feel like from the previews they've given us, it might be rock, paper, scissors, because Call of the Archons definitely felt stronger than AOA.
Uh-huh.
Like, maybe not the outliers were stronger. Like, the variants. Like, the stronger decks in Call of the Archons, I feel, are stronger than the stronger decks in Age of Ascension.
Sure.
But I feel like there's way less just super duds in Age of Ascension.
Yeah.
Because in Call of the Archons, you get a deck where you're like, this isn't even fun to
Blast
play.
Or whatever. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of cards in Call of the Archons that just didn't do much of anything most of the time.
But it looks like in Worlds Collide that they're going to be really good at contending with Call of the Archons, and maybe Age of Ascension might be better at beating them.
And it'll just be like a triangle.
Yeah,
like
it might be like kind of a rock, paper, scissors
the standard
thing.
triangle format of card games.
Yeah, I mean, it's early to see, but it kind of feels that way from what they're previewing.
How about this, since we're still sort of on the topic, with the houses, I mean, now that there's 9 official houses and there's only going to be 7 at any given time, like, literally set 4, they could just be like, alright, we're bringing Sanctum and Mars back and we're taking Untamed and Shadows out, and then just have that be 7. Like, I don't think...
very bored and combo heavy game.
Yes, yeah, it would. That was just the first houses that came to my mind, but, like, they already have, with these 2 new houses, now they have, like, 12 sets, if not more, worth of, like, possible combinations of 7. So, like, every time they release new houses, they're just, like, exponentially growing their possible combos for, like, each set release. But, like, what do you think the next 1 or 2 houses are that are going to be removed for, like, set 4 or 5?
Bold prediction.
Yeah.
Set 4, I think they're going to leave in 1 or both of the new houses.
Sure.
I think they're going to drop Shadows and maybe bring in a different spooky, edgy house that has to do with stealing.
Okay.
I think thematically vampires for stealing.
Yeah.
Like maybe they're like amber vampires that like want your amber.
Yeah,
like,
your blood.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Or something. I don't know.
Nosferatu house.
But I think they're gonna drop Shadows and Brobnar.
Okay.
Will be
Shadows
just
being
personally
like the most hyped and the most played.
I think and I think they're hyping Brobnar now so that we have good memories of it. Because what they did with the OP kits, they gave us a Mars playmat and Mars accessories. And then they're giving us a Sanctum one.
They
That
got
should
rid
be
of
out
Mars.
pretty soon, like if stores don't have it already.
Right.
They got rid of Mars and Sanctum.
That playmat does look really nice.
Yeah, the Bulwark playmat is
Absolutely
amazing. I want it.
It's super clean, yeah.
But if we don't know through organized play,
Mm-hmm.
like maybe if they keep that thing, maybe it'll just be spoilers to what houses are leaving next.
Yeah.
Like what playmats we get.
True.
But we're getting a Bingle Bang Bang playmat for store championships.
Mm-hmm.
Bumblebird is the Grand Championship playmat, so maybe it's Untamed and Brobnar.
Maybe.
Might be the next ones to go.
True. I could see Untamed going. I feel like with 2 sets worth of cards now, like Untamed's been around for both of these, and the third one that's coming out now, like it's. I feel like it's going to become more difficult for them to create new cards for houses because it's like everything that house does will have kind of been done before, and they can make like a better version of things, but I also don't expect them to do the power creep. Like that's kind of something that they need to be careful of.
It is a good way to avoid power creep instead of designing a ton of new cards. Like, for example, Sanctum's gone. If they come back in set 4, they won't have to bring a bunch of new cards.
Yeah,
they just
bring
mix
back
set 1 and 2 and give us a little bit of new cards, and it feels new again.
Right,
because
exactly.
we didn't have any Sanctum.
Take some of the better cards out of the first 2 sets, create a handful of new Sanctum cards, and throw those together, and then it's still Sanctum, but it feels like a whole different Sanctum, and that's what I hope they do. And if they do that with Untamed, like I could see, I agree with you with that. Untamed is probably the next to go because I feel like they've done everything they can do for a while. You know what I mean? Like I can't think of anything that Untamed like does as a house that doesn't exist as a card in some context, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But that's all opinion, and that's all what we'll find out together as a community as time goes on. But yeah, looking forward to it. Warding and Raging Exulting. Definitely hyped. I was hyped for Deploy, and I thought Deploy was like going to be the coolest thing, and now they release all 3 of these, and I'm like...
I think Deploy still is really cool.
I love Deploy. like Deploy was my favorite mechanic from the last set, but like all 3 of these beat Deploy in my opinion. Like just from a like my favoritism standpoint, not because they're the best one, but just like the way they work, their functionality. I enjoy these.
I'm going to be curious to see if they still have Deploy Alpha and Omega in set 3.
That would be interesting to find out.
Or if
too.
like mechanics might be like specific to
restrictive,
sets.
Yeah, restricted to.
I hope they do. I don't mind. I hope they don't do Overboard.
Yeah.
Like I hope but maybe some of like the fan favorite Alpha and Omega cards.
Duskwitch, dude.
Yeah, Duskwitch.
I want to see Duskwitch in every Untamed set. Like if Untamed is in the set, I want Duskwitch in there, dude. I love Duskwitch.
Bumblebird can stay.
Yeah, I guess. There's a playmat for it. It can, whatever.
It's cute, but I don't think it's a very powerful card.
No, yeah, I agree.
Do you want to start talking about some of the cards they spoiled in this article?
We can go over some cards for a few minutes. Did you want to talk about the anomalies first? Do you want to do that first?
That's going to be one of the cards,
Included,
so we could hit it at the end.
Sure, yeah, cycle through some of these cards we get.
So, the first spoiled card is for the Saurians, and it is a 4-power creature named Philosophosaurus.
My friend at work told me this. They really dropped the ball, and they didn't call it Velociraptor.
We don't know that they won't have a Velociraptor.
I know, but the fact that like that was his first thought. I showed him that, and he's like, "Man, it's not Velociraptor," and I was like, "You wait." But yeah, if not, that's a missed opportunity.
I think someone on the chat during the live stream brought it up, and Brad said that he apparently has a background in paleontology.
Oh, really?
That's what he went to school for.
That's cool.
So he gets like kind of irked when people talk about raptors because like velociraptors in specific were only the sizes of chickens.
Yeah, they were really tiny.
They were really small. So maybe that has to do with it.
I hope that they take that to heart, and I hope that his background makes him take that into consideration, because I don't want to see a raptor card having 7 power. Like anything that's a raptor should be like 2 power max, because they were the tiniest dinosaur. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they were really small. They should not be big powerhouses.
Maybe like 2
here.
with skirmish.
Yes, yeah, that would be fine. You know, yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
But so Philosophosaurus, he is a dinosaur and a philosopher, obviously. He has 4 power, no armor, and he has a reap ability. You may look at the top 3 cards of your deck, archive 1, add 1 to your hand, and discard 1. How do you feel about it?
I think it's amazing.
I think it's very powerful.
I think that's like I know we haven't gone through the rest of the cards, but like I feel like just out the gate, it's gonna be hard for the other 7 cards that they leak to like be better than this in my mind.
Like a reap effect. If this was a play effect, this would be like one of the best creatures in the game.
100%.
Like if there was like an Igor level play effect.
100%. Yeah.
Unpopular opinion. I think Igor is better than Time Traveler.
Igor?
Yep. The only thing that makes Time Traveler better is he comes with help from Future Self.
Yeah.
If Igor came with a card that could tutor him, Igor would be better.
I agree.
Hands down.
Igor would be better if you could tutor an Igor.
And if he gave you Amber and you got the other card that gives you Amber. But play effect wise, looking at three, drawing
text.
1 and discarding 2 is better than drawing 2.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing. Like, people who play card games obviously know this, but for anyone who, like, Keyforges is your first game, discarding is very, very rarely is discarding a bad thing. Like, discarding cards feels bad because sometimes you're like, oh, both of these cards are good and I can only keep one. But, like, most of the time, cards in your graveyard can be accessed again. And the fact that, like, this isn't like all the other popular card games, you get to shuffle your deck back in. There's always a chance to get it back.
Especially in Keyforge, because if you have less hand, you draw more at the end of your turn.
Yep.
Like, Keyforge incentivizes you to overextend to an extent.
Right. I think my favorite thing about Philosophosaurus is, like you said, the 3 effects, the archive, discard, and add 1 to hand. If you hit, like, all you need to do is hit 1 card from this house, and then 1 card for your next house's turn. Like, if you have, like, 3 and 3 in your hand, you just add the one that you can play now, and then the one that you archived is whatever you're going to play next, and now you have you're accelerating your game state by 2 cards.
Yeah.
Like, that's significant as hell. Like, that's super significant.
Deck manipulation is huge with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
So he's, I'm going to give him 6 Raptor Claws out of 6.
6 Raptor Claws out of 6.
All right, next creature, we got Captain Val Jericho.
Oh, I think I did read this one.
Star Alliance, and she is a human leader. She's a 5-power creature with 1 armor. During your turn, if Captain Val Jericho is in the center of your battle line, you may play 1 card that is not of the active house.
I think it's great. I think it's good for them to release cards that are specific to parts of the board. Like, they already did that with flanks, and I think, like, flank mechanics are good because sometimes, like Titan Mechanic, obviously, from set 1, having Titan Mechanic on a flank benefits you and your opponent. This only benefits you, but it becomes way more difficult to keep it centered, right?
Although at the same time, it is kind of easy. Like, it's easy for your opponent to get her off the center.
Yeah.
But it's also easy for you to control where she is when you play that card.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there's no phases.
Well, the thing too is, like,
when you play cards.
If you have her in hand and you don't have an empty board, you better hope you have 3 or 4 other creatures to center her. Yeah, to center her in and then be able to abuse her effect.
Or
otherwise she's just a 5/1.
Something that gives you deploy.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Hey, a seismic finger tap.
There would be.
I don't like that card right now, but maybe it's amazing with this.
What does that do? I haven't seen that.
The Logos artifact.
To switch battle position.
Yeah,
quantum finger trap or whatever. Right. That's cool. I mean, this is a little off topic, but I really hope that they release a Star Alliance card with artwork of some guy who looks like William Shatner.
Because that would be pretty cool.
I really want to see that.
The other thing that I didn't realize when I first read this, but I'm realizing it now, it doesn't say during your Star Alliance turn if she's in the center.
Oh yeah, it's just any turn where she's
any
center.
turn, you could be taking any turn if she's still in the center. You could play a Star Alliance card.
She's all the way on the flank with, like, 2 other creatures next to her, and you call, like, Untamed, play 2 creatures. Now she's centered, and you just go with it, and that'd be pretty cool.
I think it's tricky, but I like it.
Yep, I think it's gonna force people to. It's gonna challenge people. Like, that's what the game is.
I guess we should talk about the rarity too. This one is a rare.
Oh, okay.
The last one is an uncommon. Philosophosaurus uncommon. Val Jericho rare.
I feel like those should be swapped, in all honesty. I think Philosophosaurus is so much better, but
I want to see more Philosophosaurus, so I don't mind it being an uncommon.
I don't mind it being an uncommon at all. I just feel like Philosophosaurus is stronger than this card.
All right, I'm gonna give it 3 Quasars out of 5.
3? Yeah, that sounds about right.
The third card they spoiled in this article is Force Field. It's a Star Alliance upgrade. Gives you 1 amber when you play it, and this creature gains Reap. Ward this creature. I just want you to know that I love the flavor text for this card. It's not today, and the person is stopping a disc creature.
That's cool. I like that.
That's a cool not today Satan reference.
The not today quote. Yeah, definitely interesting. It makes me think of Arya from Game of Thrones, obviously. I'm sure anyone who's watched Game of Thrones is going to think of that immediately, too. I think the card's okay. Like we were saying earlier, warding something multiple times doesn't really do anything for it. But in a sense where if you can ward something and your opponent doesn't have many creatures, if they kill it once, you just ward it again.
This on Philosophosaurus.
Yeah.
Because you're going to reap, get that huge benefit, ward it. They're going to try and kill it. Maybe they don't, and then you
get to reap and do it again. Yep, that would be pretty cool.
This is also an uncommon from this set.
From Star Alliance. Yep.
Yeah. I think it's decent.
Yeah.
It depends on the creature.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. As far as upgrades go, it is not the worst.
Yeah, definitely not the worst. I mean, it depends on what your opponent's deck is too. If they're playing something that just has a ton of creatures, it's probably going to feel useless. It's going to get you an amber. But if someone's playing something more combo or control heavy and they don't have a lot of creatures, or if you have it really early on in the game, like your opening hand, I think it is going to work wonders.
What if now? Here's me thinking outside the box. What if they have a strong destroy effect like Dust Imp?
Yeah.
Do you play this on their Dust Imp? So now they can't reap with it?
Maybe.
So
yeah,
like,
I mean, that doesn't sound bad. I like
they
that.
have
I like
to
that
swing
mindset
into
of it.
you maybe, and you just... Because if they reap with it, then like, oh, sorry, my board wipe, your board wipe.
Yeah, the board wipe didn't kill it.
It might not be the most effective play, but maybe sometimes that would be...
Yeah, there's got to be at least a handful of scenarios where that is optimal or beneficial based on like the board state and game state, and that's what all the cards are. But I like you were saying with the first few sets, there are some cards that just feel like they don't have any place in the game because they never do anything. All the cards from this set that I've seen so far, they have at least like a few uses that are reasonable enough to be like, I don't mind this being in my deck. Like, it's my least favorite card in the deck, but I don't hate the card. A lot of the decks I have right now, like, I love some of my decks, and there's, like, one or two cards where every time I look at it, I'm just like, why are you here? I don't want this. And I haven't seen that with any of these cards yet, which is great. I'm gonna put it at the same 3 out of 5 Quasars. I think it's probably on par with the creature that we just went over. I think it'll have a whole different, like, range of uses. But I don't see it being more impactful than the creature.
I think Val Jericho's better, for sure, because House Cheating's busted.
Yeah, but like I think, like you said, the centering might cause some problems with their usefulness.
That's true.
What do we got next?
All right, up next we have an untamed creature called the Feathered Shaman. It's a 2-power creature, human witch. It is elusive, and it has a fight and reap ability. Ward each of the Feathered Shaman's neighbors. It is an uncommon.
The fact that it's elusive and wards your neighbors, I think that card is ridiculous. I'm a little sad about the power of it, but with it being elusive, that's no problem.
It has
like,
to be to check it.
Yeah, with elusive at a 4-power creature, it'd be busted. So I think this card is completely fair. I think it was made very well. I don't see any problems with it. But yeah, in the right deck, this
just keeps people
this
there.
100% will just it's just gonna... Playing this in itself is going to make board wipes feel less awful when they get played.
For sure.
And overall, I think it's a great card.
I like it. They're definitely untamed creatures that I don't really like. I like this one.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it 3 feathers out of 7.
3 feathers out of 7?
Yeah.
That's not awful. Imagine that being on a Duskwitch.
Yeah, no, okay. If Duskwitch is in the set, this gets 5.5 feathers out of 7.
Yeah, okay. I will be there with that. This card is entirely dependent upon Duskwitch being in Worlds Collide. Otherwise, just every time you pull this, rip it up. No, I'm just kidding.
Alright, let's see. The next one is a Shadows action. It gives you an amber bonus. It's called Pestering Blow.
That artwork looks absolutely awesome. It looks like it's a frame straight out of a comic book series.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Its play effect is deal 1 damage to a creature and enrage it. It is a common. This is the first common we've seen.
Nice.
And has a quote from Dodger, if that matters. Says that ought to get his attention.
That's cool. I like the quote for that because like we said before, it forces them to fight with that creature. I don't see anything wrong with it again. I really like the card. I think it dealing 1 damage kind of feels bad. Like if it dealt 2, it would feel like I'd want it in my deck. Like this is a card where if it's in my deck, I'm not gonna hate it. But if it dealt 2 damage, I would be searching for it.
I mean,
like,
I feel like, though, with the Amber bonus, it could literally just say, enrage a creature, and it would still be useful.
Yeah, it would still be useful. It just, like I said, I haven't fallen in love with this card. Like, you know what I mean? Even though it's just a common.
I think once we see what enrage, like, can do,
mm-hmm.
This might be more unbalanced than we think. Enraging might be, like, the secret mechanic.
The dumbest thing,
like,
yeah. The dumbest mechanic we've seen so far.
It is a common in the set for Shadows.
I'll give it a 2 shadow out of 5.
I'm going to give it 3 sucker punches out of 6.
Okay. We're almost on the same page with that one.
All right. The next one they previewed in their article here is called Ire Staff. It's an artifact for Brobnar with an amber bonus. It's a weapon. Its action is enrage a creature. Give that creature a +1 power counter. And the quote, since they matter now, is a weapon or a motivational tool. It all depends on who's holding it.
Uh,
I like this.
I feel it's a little underwhelming. Like, the fact that it's an artifact means I have to wait a turn to use it. And I mean, I feel that way about every Brobnar artifact. Like, I feel like Brobnar should just, like, derp themselves on the board and, like, board wipe. But that's just my take on Brobnar. So it feels underwhelming to me, but I also don't play Brobnar as much as other people I know. I feel super neutral about this card.
I think since you can enrage your creatures or your opponents, you can give your creatures more power. And if you're going to fight with them anyway, who cares?
True.
And you can make your opponent's creatures enraged.
Which forces them to fight.
If they have a Philosophosaurus with a ward counter on it, now they have to fight.
Or a Duskwitch. Or a Duskwitch. Yeah, forcing your opponent to fight makes more sense. That makes it a little better in my heart. But even, like, yeah, overall, you probably bumped it up a point in my book, but I'm still not super impressed by it.
I like it a lot. This might be one of my favorites so far.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm going to give it 4 War Drummers out of 5.
Yeah, I'm going to probably give it 3. I feel like we were going to be about a point off on that one. Like, it doesn't feel bad. It's definitely, like, better than average, but it doesn't feel amazing.
Does it change your mind that it's a common?
That just means I'm going to pull it more and then not want the decks with it in it.
I guess that's fair. All right, we have a Saurian card. It is a dinosaur soldier called Paraguardian.
He's huge.
He is a 6-power, 1-armor creature, dinosaur soldier. He is an uncommon. Reap, you may exalt Paraguardian. If you do, ward each of its neighbors.
Yeah, I mean, it's big enough to where exalting doesn't feel like much.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that they have to spend 7 power to kill it every turn, like, I don't mind giving you 1 or 2 amber to ward 2 creatures. Like, even if I just did it once, if that card said give your opponent an amber and ward 2 creatures, I would be A-okay with that. So the fact that it's on a 6/1 body, I like that card. And you said it was a common or uncommon?
It is an uncommon.
So same pull right as Philosophosaurus. Yeah, I think that's a solid card. I don't know how well it's going to synergize with the rest of the Saurians.
I don't know. I feel like Saurians are like taking up the Sanctum mantle of protecting everything.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to do well.
It's just instead of capturing Amber, they're just going to put Amber on themselves for exalt effects.
I feel like capturing was kind of underwhelming, and this is their way of like doing the same thing but getting more benefit out of it.
I think capturing was underwhelming in Call of the Archons. In Age of Ascension, I've lost games to
just like captured Amber that you couldn't get back.
Just different. Well, what's his name? The capture 3, and then as he reaps, they all go away.
Oh yes, yeah, I can't remember his name either.
Mark the Marked.
Mark the Marked.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Or like, I mean,
the guy with the armor, where when his armor blocks stuff, you capture that
one.
much.
Mm-hmm.
Capture. I mean, only Sanctum does it well.
Yeah,
but it's been pretty huge.
Yeah, I feel like Sanctum does it the best, but every time it gets captured, like it's. I don't know. It doesn't feel as good as stealing. It doesn't feel as good as like
nothing feels as good as stealing.
Yeah, but
Keyforge.
I don't know. I feel like capturing is like the weakest form of amber control, and I just never really did much for me. Like it didn't feel good to do anything when I captured stuff. It was just like every time I used a capture effect, it was because
keep them off a key.
Yeah, it was like I had to use it. Not this is the best time to use it. It was if I don't do this, I'm gonna lose the game, and that just kind of turned me off to it. But I like this. All this exalting stuff, it's the same thing because you're giving your opponent amber, but you're doing it on your terms. Yeah. Not on theirs. You know, like Gatekeeper when they have 15 amber, like, oh yay, I get to stop you for a turn, but all that has to happen is my Gatekeeper dies and then you get it all back and stuff like that. Like this is, I'm choosing to take the risk. I'm not being forced to play a card.
What if you get a Legacy Gatekeeper in Saurian and you steal all that and then you exile him and give them to them?
That would be pretty solid. That would be pretty solid.
Legacy Maverick.
Oh my god. With exile.
I'm pre-selling that deck when I pull it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a starting bid 200.
Yep, sounds about right. It'll be on our eBay.
All right, and the last card that they previewed was the Grim Reaper. It is an anomaly.
I hope it has all that little electrostatic stuff around it.
I think that might be the art for anomalies.
Yeah.
They said anomalies are supposed to represent possible chaotic futures or different possibilities of future within the lore. who knows? Brad refused to say how many anomalies are in the set. We do know, based on the card number, that there are at least 7.
True.
I think. Right? Yeah. A07 at the bottom instead of the normal.
Like 200 something. 300.
Yeah, instead of the normal set symbol and what number card it is in this set, it just says A07.
I wonder if the anomaly cards like never get released in sets.
Yeah,
like if they're never officially part of a house and they're just like their own
pseudo
house.
Say there's a dozen.
Yeah, and they're just
there's
like
just a dozen in the set that can show up.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that it would be cool, like we were talking about this a little earlier, if maybe they are from a future set.
Right, like that's like a set 5 or 6 card that we're just not going to see until that point, but they knew the card should be this way and they wanted to show it to us early, but they couldn't assign it to a specific house yet because there's nothing to synergize with it perfectly.
The other thing that could be cool, well, Brad all but confirmed when he was talking about it that the mechanics are definitely from future sets.
Okay.
And I think that's kind of the point of anomalies, to show off mechanics that are coming up. Like, let's go over the Grim Reaper.
Sure.
In this instance, he is Brobnar, but he could show up as any house, being an anomaly. 4 power, no armor, robot specter. If you are haunted, the Grim Reaper enters play ready. And then it has a little explanation. You are considered haunted if there are 10 or more cards in your discard pile.
Yep.
And he has a reap ability, purge an enemy creature, and a friendly creature. So, haunted, cool mechanic. Spooky house.
I think haunted is awesome.
Spooky house.
Spooky
set
house.
4.
Yeah,
Maybe.
that would play right into your vampire ideas, or when they rotate out shadows, they're going to lose all the stealing. Maybe there will be more graveyard control, manipulation, haunting. Yeah, that would be interesting.
But I like this art is fantastic.
Yep, I agree. Definitely, probably the best art out of all the cards they've revealed on their article.
How cool would it be if the lightning was foil?
Oh my god!
Like just the lightning.
Damn, yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Just anomalies or foil. Oh, that might be the first way they do foils.
That would be pretty cool.
Just
at that point, they would like have to not release them in their own house, because then when they come out in set 6, everyone's gonna be like, "This is disappointing. They're not foil anymore."
But I like anomalies. I like the idea of anomalies.
The concept is great.
Whether they're actually in future sets or just their mechanics are. It's cool. They said that's going to be about as rare as getting a Maverick or a Legacy.
Okay.
So it's not terribly... Like, it's going to be a little rarer, they said.
Okay.
But it won't be as rare as getting a Maverick Legacy.
Okay, gotcha.
Is what Brad said.
Gotcha. We need to get, like, some kind of, like, breakdown list of, like, what the rarities are.
I just wonder, because... With Mavericks, it's just like a random thing in the algorithm. It's like, this deck will have a Maverick. And then other algorithms go off from that. I wonder what, if it's just this deck will have
an anomaly or if there's something...
But then, like, what determines what house it's in?
Yeah, or what anomaly card it is. Yeah. I gotcha.
Are there going to be anomalies that come with other cards? Like
Time Traveler.
Time Traveler and the 4 Horsemen?
That would be cool.
Oh, dude, Maverick, Legacy, 4 Horsemen's in Saurian.
Dude,
let's go.
Like Floyd's Reverse Time, Double Horseman Reverse Time deck with that in there.
Oh, that would be amazing.
10 cards in my grave, no problem. Here we go. That'd be pretty free.
Yeah, we have a buddy who pulled pre-errata. He pulled a Library Access Reverse Time deck with Double Horseman.
Oh my god,
and it was pretty wild.
It's
for
amazing.
The whole 20 minutes he got to play.
I'm so glad he kept it though.
Yeah,
like, the fact
he was
that
thinking
it
about
around...
selling it, and I kind of talked him out of it, because my whole point is, like, you can have the money, or you can have this cool piece of Keyforge history forever.
Yep.
Like...
Yeah. 100%.
So those are the cards they previewed on the article. I like it. I'm hyped. They talked about new products coming out. We could touch on that real quick.
Yeah.
I think those are dope. I think the, what is it called?
The single player or
the
like
deluxe Archon deck.
Yep.
1 deck plus keys, chain tracker, and tokens. That's genius.
Yep.
They should have done that from the beginning.
100%.
Because if you show up to your local event and they're like, oh, we're doing Keyforge tonight, someone could just pay $15 extra to whatever the entry fee is, if there is any, and jump right in.
Yeah, they don't have to ask to borrow anything from anybody. You're just ready to go right then and there. You can use the thing as a deck box till you go buy one. Like, you are literally ready to play for $15-$20. You know what I mean?
Genius.
Yep.
It's a one-person starter deck.
Yep, and paying, like when they were doing the 2-player sets before, it was, for us at least, our MSRP was like $25. And you got 2 sets of keys, 2 sets of trackers, 2 sets of amber, blah, blah, blah. But when you think about it, this makes them more money because if they charge 15 for one, they're charging 30 for two instead of 25.
It's a middle ground.
It's a power move for them because they're getting a little bit more gain out of it. But anybody who doesn't have another person to play with regularly or doesn't have that much money to spend can still jump in and be fine.
Or even if you forget your tokens.
Yeah.
I might buy one of these just to get a quick set of tokens if I forget them for some reason.
That's true, yeah.
Or if I'm at the shop hanging out and I don't have my Keyforge stuff and someone wants to learn how to play.
Yeah, it's worth just buying one of these. Spending $25.
I keep the deck, give them the tokens. Mm-hmm. You know, they could buy a regular deck and not spend the extra money.
100%. I agree.
They also have a new starter set. Comes with, 2 players worth of stuff.
Yeah, they're keeping the old 2-player set release.
And then they have the deluxe box.
Premium collector's box, I think.
And this seems cool. I don't know if I'm going to get it or not. I guess it depends.
I'll probably grab one just because I want to see how that dial works.
Yeah,
that's the main thing I want to see, the dial and the new status counters, depending upon whether or not I get custom ones from some third-party seller or anything. But...
So the deluxe, the premium box it comes with 2 Keyforge decks, 1 collector's box, which I believe will just be storage for decks,
yep. Mm-hmm.
1 token box, which will probably fit in the collector box.
Hopefully.
5 individual deck boxes. They're the cardboard folding deck boxes that they give away.
Like the Mars ones.
They're nice. They hold a sleeve deck
mm-hmm.
well. And they have spaces for stickers, and it also comes with a sticker sheet of all 9 houses. Comes with 5 of each, so if you happen to pull the same 3 for 5 decks,
you have enough
stick
stickers.
them all in those boxes and stick them all.
Yep, and the status counters too, with the new Enrage and
warding and a chain dial, which
mm-hmm.
looks like as you turn the chains on the chain dial, it'll tell you how many less cards you draw.
It looks like a Beyblade.
It looks neat.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's going to be cool. Hopefully it isn't... I hope it's made well enough just to last a long time. I don't want it to break in 6 months. Yeah. But I'm definitely going to pick one up, and we'll probably do a review on it.
Put a wristwatch on it.
Yeah.
So you just put a wrist strap on it, wear it like a watch, and just spin it.
Spin it around, yeah. That'd be pretty cool. I
like
it.
So that's everything they revealed for the upcoming set. Yeah. I'm really stoked about a lot of it. I know we thought about going to some more spoiled cards, but this is getting to be a pretty long episode. We might talk about those on a future episode.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll have an episode dedicated to just leaks and spoils. I know we were talking about some specific themes for specific episodes. I know there's a lot of ruling stuff.
I don't have it pulled up. There's a Saurian key cheat.
I saw the picture, but I couldn't read it. I was scrolling.
I saw the full scan of it today, or the picture of it. Mm-hmm. But it's a location. It's called the Colosseum.
Okay.
It's a location. It has an Omni ability, but its static ability is whenever an enemy creature is destroyed in a fight, you put a glory counter on it.
Okay.
Or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Omni ability is if you have 6 glory counters on it, remove them and forge a key at current cost.
Okay. And what
you
house
don't
is that
sacrifice
for?
It.
What house is it for?
Saurian.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so that'll actually play really well into the big dinosaur creatures, like I was saying. Like if they're as beefy as I expect them to be, that's going to be a phenomenal key cheat for them. And it's without board wipes, your opponent feels really bad playing little creatures against it. But I think we have a decent amount of content to push out today. We're probably gonna wrap it up with that. Let us know what you guys think. What house of the new 2 houses? Which are you most pumped for? Which of the new mechanics are you most pumped for? And how do you guys feel about Sanctum and Mars leaving us, even if it's only for 6 months or a year? So we're looking for feedback from all you guys, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it.
I mean, yeah. I'm not going to miss them because they'll be back.
Yeah, I'm not going to have any negative feelings towards Fantasy Flight or Keyforge about those houses leaving. Logos, though, do not let... No, I'm just kidding.
Anything that makes the game more interesting, I'm all for.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I saw this new stuff and I'm actually hyped. I didn't want to not be hyped for it.
Yeah, you didn't want it to be underwhelming.
And they definitely delivered.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good time to be in this game. Did I show you the sales figures someone posted?
Yeah, they beat out Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, they're the 3rd top selling card game as of the first 2 quarters of 2019.
Yep. So that's phenomenal. They're literally
Magic, Pokemon, Keyforge, then Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yep, and then D&D minis or something.
Yeah,
it's actually insane.
Amazing.
I as a enthusiast, as a Keyforge player, that still blew me away. Like, I wasn't expecting to see that as an actual image. I was like, maybe fourth, fifth, sixth. Like, they're going to be up there, but like third? Oh, crap. Third? That's phenomenal. And good job to them for getting this far and hopefully pushing through. We're going to take out Pokemon next.
It had to be like a lot of stress on the creators and teams. I'm sure they were expecting... I wouldn't say they're expecting it to not go over well, but I don't think they were expecting 1.2 million decks being opened within 8 months.
Yeah, no way. Like they I don't think they expected to be ahead of Yu-Gi-Oh! In less than a year of release. Like, that's just not something anybody thinks of. Like, Yu-Gi-Oh's been around since like pre-2000. Like, you're outselling a game that's been out for 20 years within 8 months.
Yeah, that's survived the test of time and survived multiple, I mean, in America at least, multiple companies handling it.
Yep.
Different scandals and...
Absolutely.
It's exciting. I'm excited to be forging keys.
Yes. Yes, and hopefully that excitement lives on within us for many years to come, because there's no other game like it.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Well, just...
Sorry for the double ending, but...
Well, we're ending again officially. Leave a comment, subscribe, hit the bell.
Hit the bell.
Tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your friends. We're forging keys out here.
I want to hear anybody. If you guys want to email us at cutthroatlabs@gmail.com, if anyone has a story about teaching their parents to play Keyforge, I want to hear about it.
Oh, for gameplay videos too, Crucible has set 2 now. We talked about that at the last episode when they were going to do it. They did it like the next day, of course. If anyone wants to play with me or Ryan, let us know. We might record it and put it on the channel and maybe do a duo commentary with you. Do something. Let's make this community more knowledgeable.
Definitely.
Let's progress.
Absolutely. And it's Friday. Hopefully this is going up tonight. And if it does, have a good weekend. If not, happy Monday or something.
Yeah, next one will be out by next Saturday for sure.
Definitely.
All right. Have a good one, guys.